Greetings, 2020 Spring Business 1360 Software Applications for Business online section only. Here we go from week 4, which we've just started, into week 5, and I wanted to reach out and just let you know that I see you out there working so hard on your studies and you're doing very well, and I appreciate that. I did want to touch base with you, especially because we're going to be entering into some new assignments, and I want you to feel comfortable with the new things that are coming. Nothing that you can't handle, okay? This is the reason we step into this methodically, to keep building up your skills. So first I want to give you a quick reminder of some of the tools to help you. Then I want to talk about one of the new assignments, which is really simply a discussion board posting in Pause, and this is an opportunity for you to pick up a few bonus points. But then you also will have a new type of assignment that is required, that is the MyIT assignment that I call it's a grader, but I may also refer to it as a badge project. So when there is a required grader, you can earn a badge, which is why I call this badge. I'm going to explain this. So these are the 3 things: quick reminder of some tools, an opportunity for you to pick up a few bonus points, and then a required assignment of a new type that's coming up. So I want to go over to our schedule, and way back here on the first page of our schedule, look at all the work that you've done. You started off and you had a lot to do that first week, getting familiar with the course, reporting your attendance, introducing yourself to your classmates, creating your username into MyITLab, and then actually starting your assignments. And so, it was a busy time, maybe a little bit of anxiety during that as you were learning and becoming familiar with really what has been our pattern of assignments: simulators, quiz, and the case. Okay, so we moved into our Word Workshop 2. You have the simulator, you had the quiz, you have the case, right? And you were still reporting your attendance. Week 3, simulator, quiz, case, final report of attendance there, right? And then week 4, we have just begun. Today is the 13th. When we say, it's not like we have a class meeting, right? So when I say Wednesday, February the 12th, you may say, well, the week started for me on Monday, and if so, that's okay. But you will soon have the same type of assignments due: the simulator, the quiz, and the case. But I see something extra here, and that's a Pause discussion posting, and it says to see the student-to-student collaboration about learning activities using Word for real-world success. Follow the instructions in the discussion posting to earn bonus points. So I wanted to tell you about this. Now, here's a caution. Should I have a big caution? I feel like I should actually add a new slide, and I should show you a little PowerPoint here, right? And I should write in really bold letters, caution, caution, caution. And what I'm going to say to you at this point is, you don't have to know how to do all this. I'm showing you some PowerPoint stuff. Always do the required assignments first. Bonus points are only for bonus, right? That makes sense. It's only a few bonus points that are not on your final grade, but added into all the points that you earn in the class. Okay? So I wanted to do that with you here so that you understand. The most important thing that you need to do is always do your required assignments first. If you have extra time, do the bonus assignment. Okay? So that's your cautionary note. Okay. Clicking around here a little bit. So let's talk about this bonus point opportunity. It's actually pretty straightforward. If I go into Pause, oops, here I am, I'm in Pause. I'm in our course, and I'm on the main page for our course. And I always suggest to you to go under Content. It's running just a little bit slowly so as the page loads. Under content, and here's, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but way back, do you remember that I showed you getting started? And we talked about here's where the syllabus is and the schedule and your MyITLab connection instructions. And down below, there were some additional resources. If you weren't familiar with using Pause, there are some resources for you. If you're not familiar with MyITLab, and you probably are not, because this is probably a software you're using for the first time. But if you are struggling, I'm going to click that. If you are struggling to use the simulator, look, there's a link, how to complete a simulator. If you need technical support, something is not working correctly when you go into the simulator on your computer, 24/7 technical support. And what these links are, and if you click on them, you know that they are links to videos. These videos were created by Pearson, and they are really good. They give you all the little extras that are going to help you succeed, and they are very short. So if you, for example, are working on a simulator and you're missing points, well, are you using the help resources that are there for you? If not, this video, How to Complete a Simulator, is going to show you how to do that. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to complete a grader. Remember, this is going to be a new assignment and it's going to be required. And you're saying, what is a grader? I don't understand. What do I do? Hey, that's what we're going to talk about right now. And this video created by Pearson, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to watch. It's 6 minutes long, and it's going to give you some tips for success and time saving. That is how to fix your errors without doing the whole assignment again. Isn't that a great idea? Highly encourage that. Okay, so that's the quick reminder. Let's say we've checked this one off. Quick reminder of tools. So back to my browser. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Here's Word Workshop 1, you've done that according to our schedule, right? Word Workshop 2, you finished that. Word Workshop 3, you just finished that one. And so now I'm going to go into Word Workshop 4. Whoops, jumped around on me a little bit. Word Workshop 4. And I'm looking at, what all the things that are under here. I can read the outcomes. I can watch some narrated slides. I know that I'm required to complete the Word Quiz 4, and there's the link to it right there. I have a reminder here that I've got to complete that simulator in MyITLab, so I'm going to have to go into MyITLab, and I've demonstrated that in previous videos that I've sent to the class. Word case, the case, well, you've got to do that, and if I click that link, it would take me directly to that case in Pause so that I could read the instructions. But since you're familiar with these things, I'm going to go to Using Word for Real World Success. Now this is that discussion topic, and what I've done is I've made it really easy for you to access that discussion by just clicking right here under Content. All your requirements are right there together. Okay, so as I read this, it says these discussion activities allow students to collaborate with the learning activities associated with the course content. So what I would do is on page 125 of the ebook, where Word Business Unit 1 begins, see the box for Learning Outcome 1 that indicates the importance of using word processing software for effective and professional business documents. Under the section titled Real World Success, a recent graduate, Chris, describes the importance of using Microsoft Word's formatting capability to prepare a resume and cover letter. Have you used Microsoft Word to prepare a resume and cover letter? If so, share a tip for success. For example, describe a formatting feature that you found most helpful and that may help others. If not, how do you think Word will help you with a resume and cover letter preparation? And what concerns do you have about learning how to use these features? After you post your answer, read the post from other students. Post a response that includes a tip for successful use of a formatting feature in Word. The tip may be from your book, or it may be a Word formatting tip from your personal experience. So all you would do is click to start a new thread. I'm tempted to give you a tip, but I don't want to list something that would take away from something, from a tip that you would offer, because if I was to give it, I would not want you to repeat the tip that I'm giving. So you would start a new thread, and that's what you see what I did there. I just clicked that button. Give your new thread an appropriate title. Maybe briefly state the tip that you're going to give. Then you would click in this box and just explain a little bit, why you thought that tip was helpful, what it is, what is the tip, and then why is it helpful. And then when you finished, I'm scrolling down here, you would click post. Okay, that's all there is. Now, remember I gave you the caution. This is only for a couple points. It's bonus points. These are not points on your final grade. These are just points that are added up into all the points that you earned throughout this semester. So if you are right now wondering, well, how many points? Okay, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that perhaps you need to refer back to your syllabus. Remember table of contents? Goodness, so slow today, our pause system. Okay. There it goes. It's always so slow when I'm trying to do this. Okay, so you could go back to your syllabus, which is under Getting Started, and you could review your syllabus. Also, we've talked about this a lot in previous videos. You could go to Assessment, go down to Grades, and I think I've reviewed this with you before. This number on the right is how many points the assignment is worth. The number on the left is how many points you have earned. So in this case, when I introduced myself, I earned 5 out of 5 points when I created my MyITLab username. Now, you're looking at your grades, and hopefully you're getting perfect scores as you go through there. Okay, you can see I don't always, this is my student demo account, and I don't always put grades in there. We've talked a lot about the detailed feedback for your cases, and the most important thing I can say to you is scroll down. You had better be scrolling down, otherwise you'll be missing a lot of the very important feedback that I provide to you, and I don't want that to happen. Okay. I'm going to come back to that, but when I get all the way down here where it says extra credit, remember this student-to-student collaboration extra credit? Well, when you complete your discussion board, if you follow the instructions, meet the requirements, this will hopefully change to a 5, because the reason there's not a number on the left and the right is because this is not required, but you have the opportunity to earn 5 bonus points for completing that discussion. Easy peasy. That's something that I think you can do, but make sure you are completing your required assignments first. Okay. So we've checked off item number 2 here, new pause discussion assignment, which is for bonus points. Now let's talk about the required work, which is in MyITLab, and it's called a grader. I will also refer to it as a badge project, and this is required. So when I go back to pause, here's the first thing that I want to point out to you. How many points is that worth? Well, you certainly can see this in your syllabus, which the great thing about the syllabus is that it even tells you things like drop grades, right? So this doesn't tell you the drop grades, but it does tell you that this is worth 30 points. And that's a fair amount of points. Look at how many points some of your other assignments are worth. We don't want to, skip this. We want to make sure that we do it. All right, so how do I do a grader or a badge project, and why do I even care about it and all that? Well, before I show you, let me refer to your schedule. Remember we just talked about the pause discussion board in our schedule? Well, if I'm looking ahead, we said week 4 into week 5. Here's week 5, and this is in essence the test. Okay, now it's not, don't get all stressed out that you got to memorize everything. This is a project-based test. It's a case-based test, because that's what we do in this class. We are not just theoretical. We handle the best practices and testing on those concepts through our pause quizzes. But we want to know, do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do the assignment? So when is it due? It's due Tuesday, February 25th. I say I give you, I think it's actually open now, but I say that I give you 1 week to do that assignment. I'm going to show you how to do it. It does say that the student will apply concepts from, look at that, all 4 chapters of Word. So you're not going to be following the step-by-step instructions directly out of your book. You're going to be applying what you have learned in those 4 chapters to complete this assignment. Do not panic, because you can use your book. You can refer to your book, right? And maybe in this grader project assignment, they tell you to change the color of the text to purple. And maybe in your book, they told you to change it to blue. Well, I think if you know how to change it to blue, then you will know how to change it to purple, right? And let's say you don't. Well, then you can look it up. Your book is searchable. We're going to look at that. You can search on how to do things. And so you can go look that up and then apply those steps. Folks, don't stress over this. It's new. This is the first time you're doing it. But once you see this, you're going to be okay with it. Now, as a reminder, I've even included a link in your schedule. How do I complete a grader? Here's a link to that video that was created by Pearson that will explain, and that I think is critical that you watch that video. And look at this. Go for the word badge. I call this a badge project, or as well as a grader project, because if you score 90% or above on this assignment, then Pearson will send you what's called a digital badge. And it's basically an image, and there's typically a link or some code that you can copy and paste so that you can display in your social media, whichever social media things that you use, that you have mastered a skill. And Pearson, as this third-party company, verifies that you earned this badge by earning 90% or above on this particular project. Okay, so that's kind of a cool thing. Now, what if you don't earn a 90%? Well, you won't earn the badge, but you still will have a good score. And we're going to talk about that because, again, that goes back to the syllabus, and I do want to explain some of those things to you, okay? All right, so how do we do this grader? I've got MyITLab open over here, and I'm going to click the link to go into our course. Once you're in the course, as you know, you can always click course materials. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And of course, we know you have to be so patient, right? So I'm going to wait for that to load. There we are. And Word Workshop 1, 2, 3. You're probably currently working on number 4. And then down below it is the badge project. So I'm going to click that. And it says this is required, Word Volume 1. It is chapters 1 through 4. It's required, and it reminds you of the due date. Okay, so I'm going to click over here on these 3 dots because I can either open it or I can view all my all my past submissions, but I'm just going to click open. Of course, you know that I'm looking up here to make sure that my pop-ups are not blocked. I don't see any red, so I'm okay. Now they show this as just 1, 2, 3, 4. You go through this and you're going to submit. But let me just walk you through it a little bit, okay? I'm going to first download my materials. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 documents that I am going to need to download, that I'll use as part of this project. And I can either download them one at a time, and that's really what I suggest. Or you can download all the files at once. Why isn't she telling us just to do that? Because when you download them all at the same time, they will not be regular files to work on. They will be in a compressed format. It's often referred to as a zipped format. And that's fine, but it does mean you need to go through the extra step of pulling them out of the zipped folder and maybe putting them in a brand new folder. So you copy them out of the zipped folder and you put them in a new folder. And as I'm saying this to you, what I know from years of teaching software apps, not just this class, is that you won't do it, because you will experience a modicum of success without unzipping them. And so you will say it's working fine until you hit the error. And then you'll email me and you'll say it's not working. And I will say to you, did you unzip the files? Yeah. I've downloaded them. And you are going to spend hours, if not days, beating your head against the wall for something that is completely unnecessary, because you're trying to go too fast. You're trying to say, I'm going to download all these files, I'm going to start work. No. Okay. Download these things. Look, that's what, 4 clicks? Do the 4 clicks. Be safe. You're going to be fine. Now, if you are more experienced and you want to download them all as a zipped file, then heed my caution. Do not work on them inside that zipped folder. You need to pull them out of that zipped folder. Otherwise, things like these themes, you're going to have problems. If you are the one student who makes it through without having a problem, I'm very proud for you that the software is advancing to keep up with you. But in my experience, it does not work that way. Okay, I'm going to download the files. Now here's the next thing. When I click to download, it says, do you want to open it or do you want to save it? And if you try to open it, which many of you will do, you will have problems, because you are opening it in essence from the web. And editing becomes a problem. Where are you saving it becomes a problem. Okay, so an important skill in terms of using Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint is, where are you putting the file? I mean, you're going to need this file later. And if you create 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 copies of this file, you are going to run into a lot of problems. You're going to submit files and you're going to get errors saying that the work was not complete. You're going to be frustrated. It's going to be 2 o'clock in the morning and you're going to be saying, I know I already did this. The software is not working because I know I already did it. And it all comes, those frustrations. I'm trying to save you. I really am trying to save you because I don't want you to go through this. But those frustrations come typically from a lack of organization. And there's just not a nicer way to say it. It is important to take the time to be well organized. And I'm saving you, I realize this video is long, but I'm saving you hours and hours of tears. I really, really am. And you know why I say that? Because I've been there myself. I have had hours of tears where I cannot find something. I'm trying to recreate work. I'm yelling at the computer because it's not doing it right. It's not acting right. And it's simply because I'm giving the computer the wrong thing. And so I don't want you to do that. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. See where it says save? I'm going to say save as, because I want to know where this file, oh, I'm so sorry, where this file is going. Okay, so typically what I do is I have a little flash drive, one of those little removable plug-in drives. Now you might have something on like you want to save it on your desktop, for example, or you might have a little flash drive. Wherever you want to save it, here's my point, wherever you want to save it is fine. Just make sure you know where that is. I am on my removable flash drive. I'm going to create a new folder. I think my computer is just at its, there it goes. Oh, dadgummit. I hate when I do that because it made a new folder and it closed it before I named it. If that happens to you, you can right click on it, rename it, give it a meaningful name. Word Badge, Word Grader, Word Badge Grader. I don't know. Okay. You notice I do not use spaces because that is a best practice. Once you create the folder, you have to open it. If that went too fast for you, rewind the video. Very important. Now, I'm about to save this file, and it's got kind of a lot of stuff here, but that's okay, right? I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And where am I saving it? I'm putting it into that badge folder. That was the first file. I need my second file. Save as. Make sure you notice where you're saving it. If not, I might need to navigate to that folder again. My third file. And you can see here, you know, it's changing down here. Here's my view. Verify where you're saving it. Otherwise, you don't know. It might be going just anyway. And then finally, my fourth file. Okay, now I have saved all these. Now it's changed this to open folder. I am going to go ahead and open that folder. Now let's look at the files that we have here. And you know, your display may be slightly different than mine. That's okay. And let's see. If you'll notice, I'm trying to make this where you can see it a little bit better. See this one with all this? This actually is the name of the book. And as you go across, the very last word here is instructions, and that's what I need. If I double click that to open it, and you know, get in the habit, when you open something you've just downloaded from the web, your computer's going to try to protect you because it might have a virus in it. You know, who knows where this file came from? Well, you do, because you downloaded it from MyITLab. So it's a safe file. I'm going to enable editing. And what I see here are the instructions. And it first says to me that I should open Word and that I should open the file that I downloaded, something about Capstone Grader, save it as blah blah Capstone Grader. Now, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to right click on that and tell it to ignore so I can get rid of that red line. Oops, let me make this larger. And see how it has no spaces anywhere in this file, but it does have an underscore, and then when they say last first, it says replace that with your last name and your first name. Folks, do not submit a file that says last first. Put your last name and your first name. So I'm going to do that. I need this Capstone Grader file. Well, that looks like it right there, right? And remember, you know, I need to enable editing. And I'm going to say File, Save As, because I'm giving it a new name. I know where I'm saving it. I'm saving it into that folder that I created. And if yours does not show the .docx, please don't worry about that. That's a setting I have on my computer because I like to see it for some of the work that I do. But what's important is that after grader, remember we need to put an underscore. And I always use the pretend student Anna Apples, and Anna Apples' last name is Apples, and her first name is Anna. Now, you do not type Anna Apples. You type, if your name is John Smith, you type Smith John. If your name is Mary Jones, you type Jones Mary. If your name is Fred Smith and you're the CEO of FedEx, then you type Smith Fred, okay? All right, got it. You know where you're saving it. Don't just throw it anywhere where you're not going to remember where it's at later on. You're putting it in the folder that you created specifically for this Word badge grader, and I'm going to save that. And now I see that I have my file name, right? So I'm good there. Let me go back to the instructions. On the first page of the document, in the Letters section, replace the text class title with microcomputer applications. Now, there's more here, but I get confused if I do too much at one time. So first, I'm going to find this text class title, microcomputer application. So I'm going to go back. Now, what I typically do, folks, I print these instructions because it's hard to do all this on screen. Okay, so I'm doing this just so you can see it. So I'm looking. Oh, look down here. I see class. Let me make it bigger so you can see too. I see class title, and it said that I should replace that. So an easy way, I could delete, or I'm just going to select it and I'm going to type, because that is the same, right? What'd they say? Microcomputer applications. Okay, whenever I make a change and I feel it's successful, I save. And that was just the very first part of the instruction. And then it said replace the text grade point average with the GPA found in the resume section of the document. Okay, so I go back. Ooh, I just happened to look immediately at it. See here where it says grade point average, but I have no idea what the actual grade point average is. It said it was in the resume section, which when I scroll down, this looks like a resume to me, and I happen to notice that the GPA is 3.92. So up here, it's I've selected this, so I'm going to type, which will delete the existing text and let me replace it. Save. Do you see how this is working? Okay. Oops, I went back to the same document. So what I've done is I've just completed that portion, and hopefully I did it all right. And if I did, then they're telling me that that's worth 5 points. Let me do one more section. Let's do one more section together, and then I'm going to show you something else. Replace the text description of areas of excellence with a square bullet list with the following items. Do not press enter after the last item. Match the capitalization and ensure the period remains after the parentheses. I actually don't see a period there, but okay, we're going to make sure that that is there. So I need to type leadership, community service, scholarship, parentheses, academics. Okay, and it says I'm going to put that in the description area, description of areas of emphasis. Leadership, community service, scholarship. Okay, description of areas of excellence. And look there, can you see that? That's so small. There's the period. I want to make sure I don't delete that by accident. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there. I'm going to type leadership. I'm going to hit the enter key. And it said to preserve the text, but notice that it capitalized it. I'm going to leave that there. Now, if you're saying, how did I know? I would have the same concern. And I'm going to tell you how you can check that, okay? So leadership, then it said what? Community service, and they had that typed in all lowercase. And then what I think they said scholarship, and they had in parentheses academics. Now, I have such a bad memory, I'm going to go back and let's just make sure. Is that what they said? Leadership, community service, scholarship, and they put in parentheses academics, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to save that. So far, so good. Now, here's the tricky. It said I need to make a bulleted list, but it also said I need to use square bullets. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, and you may remember I select those 3 paragraphs, and you might be used to coming up here and clicking on bullets, but those are round bullets. There's a little bitty drop-down box right there, and I see square bullets. Now, what if you do not see square bullets? This might be a good time to refer to your book to find out how do I do square bullets. But for now, I've got my square bullets. I'm going to save that. And I am nowhere near done. I recognize that, but I am going to close this document for the moment. We have hopefully correctly finished at least these first 2 steps here. And that should be 5 points and 5 points. Well, actually I said first 3 steps, right? The first step had 0 points, but you need to name your document correctly. I'm going to, for a moment, return to MyITLab. Remember that we had just downloaded these files one by one? I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to look at this next step. Work assignment on your computer. Now that's what we've been doing. Follow the instructions, steps to finish the project, point values can also be seen. Now, I showed you how to look at the instructions because that was one of the documents that you downloaded. You can also, I hate this, you can also preview them on the screen. Ugh, right? That's so hard to read. I like printing those instructions, holding them in my hand so that I can really easily refer to them. Why do I want to look at them in a little bitty box like this? I don't know, but maybe you do. If so, now you know how to do it. And I'm going to come on over to this next step. And it says, are you all done? Select your project file in preparation for our automatic grading and reporting. After you've chosen your file, click Upload, and then you'll submit for grading. Okay, I'm not done yet, but I don't have to be because you have unlimited attempts on this assignment. So click Choose File. And remember that I put that on my removable flash drive, which I find over here. I made a special folder, and see how important that is. So I can so easily go back to my work, Word Badge Grader. And I'm Anna Apples, and there's my file. And I'm going to click Open. Now, the thing that a lot of students forget to do is upload. You have to upload it. It did not automatically upload it. You must click Upload. Okay, now I can submit for grading. I'm going to close that. It submitted it. Okay, and I'm going to close. This is just, these boxes are just hanging out there. Okay, there's two important steps that I just took there. I clicked Upload after I selected my file. Select the file, then click Upload. The third very important thing, I submitted it. I submitted the work. Very, very, very important. Now, it is right now, MyITLab is grading my work. And I can't wait. I just want to know, how is that grade? So can I view my submission? I'm going to try that. Well, it looks like it already graded it, and oh my goodness, what a horrible grade. But I only did 2 steps, and that's okay, because I can click on that submission, and you see this is my pretend student, and what I'm going to do is, this is that grading rubric, and I'm going to look and make sure I didn't miss any points. Do you know, the first time that I was trying to teach this, I get sometimes discombobulated when I'm trying to talk and explain and actually do the work at the same time. So I did the first part of the assignment, I typed in the class title, and then I forgot to put that GPA in there. And I realized that when the computer told me that I did not earn all 5 points. No problem. I can just go back and fix that error to earn the points. Now, remember, we were a little concerned because after I typed leadership in lowercase and I hit the enter key, Microsoft Word automatically capitalized it. Well, that's what they wanted me to see. And so what I have confidence in now is that I earned all 5 points. There's no problem with the fact that Microsoft Word capitalized it, okay? So I earned all 5 points. Uh-oh, here comes the red. And I see down here a lot of red. And of course that's because I haven't even started to finish, these steps of the assignments. I will tell you that because there are multiple parts. See how it has this little drop down box? I can start to see the sub-steps. So this is still all part of 4. And in this way, I might have done this part correctly but missed this part. And if so, I would see the points here but not here. Okay, so it's a great way to figure out, what did I do right, what did I do wrong, okay? Now, here's the great part, and very important. Close that. And remember that we were under this Word Badge Word Badge Grader project. If I click on those 3 dots, I went to this by clicking on View Submissions. So I'm going to click on Open. That's actually where we started. This is when I click on those 3 dots and open, we downloaded the materials, we could preview the instructions once again, we chose the file, then we clicked on upload, and then we submitted for grading. And we learned we had some errors. So why don't I go back to my instructions, I'm now on step 4, and keep working on that file. I do not have to start over. So if you click on File and then Open, okay, and there it is, here's my work for today where I can just continue working on this assignment. See it right there? I'm just going to keep on working on it, but I forgot my instruction. So it says in the paragraph that begins, along with these, comma, position the insertion point after the colon following Jones Lumber and press Enter. Then add a numbered list using 1, 2, 3 style with the following items. Do not press enter after the last item. Okay, so I need to find that paragraph. I need to really find Jones Lumber, and then let's see, position the insertion point after the colon following Jones Lumber. Okay, so here I go. Where is Jones Lumber? Okay, this happens to me a lot where because I'm talking I can't see it, so I love being able to use my tools. I'm going to click find, I'm going to type Jones, and there we are, Jones Lumber. Didn't it? Oop, took me away from it too. There it is, Jones Lumber, and it said position the insertion point, so I clicked right after the colon. I hit enter. I cannot remember what I'm supposed to type anymore, so let me go back. Creating complex Excel documents, period. Creating complex Excel documents, period. Hit the enter key. Go back to my instructions. Creating an access database for inventory. Creating an access database for inventory, period. And then let's see, my instructions say training staff in the use of access database. Training staff in the use of access database. Now you may be saying to yourself right now, why doesn't she copy and paste? Because if I copy and paste directly, and yes, there are some things that I could do, but I don't want to confuse you, I'm going to get that blue shading and all that kind of stuff, and I'm going to get some errors. So be careful if you are trying to kind of do that fasty fast, I'm going to shortcut the system, be careful about that. Managing Outlook schedules for company manager, and remember it said do not press the enter key after the last item. So managing Outlook schedules for company manager. Whoops. Managing Outlook schedules for, what was it, company manager, and then period. Okay. Now it also wanted me to use this numbering style, and sometimes those squigglies get in my way. I'm going to say ignore. And what I can see now is that I need to have 1 and then a period, 2 and then a period, right? 3 and then a period. That's the style that they want. So when I come back over here, I'm going to select these. I go up here to my numbering. There's the style right there. Okay. And I'm working along. I'm going to click save. And I feel like I've completed. Now you don't have to do this after every step. What I just want to simply show you is that I did not have to download the file again. I can choose the file again. This is where you got to know where that file is, folks. And I've just continued to update that same file. Open. Now what was the key? Upload. Don't forget to upload. And then submit for grading. And sometimes if you hit submit before it's finished uploading, it'll fuss at you. Oh my goodness, it graded it so quickly, but I still have an F. Let's go over here and view submissions. And what I want to show you is that you should see 2 submissions. I've got just a couple extra points. I want to make sure, you know, or see where I've lost points. And as you scroll down here, oh goodness, and I did not even do that on purpose. What did I do incorrectly? Well, let's look. I'm going to expand that. In the paragraph beginning with training staff in the use of access database, the text was not set to training staff in the use of access database. Now look at that. It does think I got these other instructions, but obviously I haven't done step 5. So I've gotten everything except for there's something I did incorrectly with training staff in the use of access database. You probably already know what it is because you're so smart. Let me open that back up. What did I do? Training staff in the use. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Now sometimes, okay, this is a good time to talk about this. Training staff in the use of the. Look at that, I missed one little word, in the use of the. Training staff in the use of the. See how you got to be precise, man, and you have to be open to admitting that you made a mistake and that it wasn't the computer. Okay, you really have to be open to that. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to see if I just fixed that problem. You know I am. I realize this video is long, but I want you to, these assignments tend to stress students out, and it's really because you're not taking the time, you're trying to rush through it, and you just, you have to be patient. What's the key? Make sure it's finished uploading, and then submit. Okay, so I always return to the assignment instructions and uploading using the open, and I look at my grade by clicking view submissions. Now I've got 3 scores, and yay, I think I have fixed that error. And I wouldn't, like I said, I probably would not check this after each and every step was completed. You certainly can, because you have unlimited attempts until the due date, until this assignment is due. And so, there's only, when you look at these instructions, there's 23 steps. Now, some of them do have more than one step on there. I told you it's 30 points, right? We looked at that in pause. It's 30 points. So you just keep working through these assignment instructions. But I do want to now talk to you about the syllabus and how these assignments, this particular assignment is graded. So what I'm going to do, let me go back over here. Remember, we can always find the syllabus under content, and I realize my video is getting long. But folks, you haven't had to meet with me in a week, and we're starting a new assignment, so I really hope that you are watching this video. Okay, so remember syllabus schedule and MyITLab. And as I go into that, I'm going to click on syllabus. And here is the syllabus. And if you're not looking at the syllabus, then I suspect you get very nervous because you're not comfortable with what the expectations are and what you're supposed to be, how many points and what are the effects and all that. So I'm going to keep on going through. Okay, method of evaluation. Here we go. There's those pause discussions. It's talking about that a little bit. Some things that you have completed or that you're actively doing. There's the cases. What I'm looking, did I scroll past it? To earn a badge. MyIT Capstone Grader badge projects. Remember I said I used different names? This is the section that you're looking for, and there's something very important I want to explain to you on this. Whoops, where'd it go? Okay, you have 3 of them. You have one for Word, you'll do one at the end of Excel, and you'll do one at the end of PowerPoint. In grand total, these are about 15% of your grade. There will be 3 required assignments. I just told you that. There is no drop grade. All 3 of these are required. So it's important that you do them and you do them on time. Folks, business runs on time. You don't get a redo in life. So you have to submit this work on time and stay on schedule. No late work, no extensions. Here's the great part I want to show you. Points for this assignment will be awarded on a pass-fail basis. To earn points, you must make a grade of 70% or above. If you do, you earn full points for this assignment. And how easy is that? Just keep uploading it. It'll point out the errors, and then you fix errors, right? And you keep doing it until you get the best score possible. I hope you get 100%. But if you earn a 90% or above, remember how you get that badge? Okay, but what if you don't get a 70% or above? Well, if you earn a 69.9999999, it is not a 70. We are not rounding here because this is a pass-fail basis. And I'm already rounding 30 points, not 31, not 32. Okay, so if you make a 69.999 or less, then you have no points for that assignment, none. Okay, but if you get a 70% or above, you get get full points, and you can submit it again, and you can use your book, and you can, you have unlimited submissions where you can fix those errors. So this is about learning, but it's testing your knowledge. So I need you to get out there, use your book. If you do not know how to perform a task that they're asking you to perform, then search the book. Go to your digital book and find the steps for that. Now, I've already explained to you this minimum to earn a badge. This is a specialized grader project that tests the student for mastery of the knowledge. Students who score 90% or above receive the badge from Pearson, not from your instructor, from Pearson. The badge can be displayed on social media. Okay. Grader projects are picky, and badges are controlled by Pearson, not your instructor. For example, if you're asked to select a certain word and you select the spaces on the side of the word, you may find that it is marked wrong. To your eye, it looks the same, but the editing skills you learned would show the error. So the automated grader will mark it wrong. This is just an example. The point is that you must apply the skills that you learned to earn top points. In this case, you may not earn a badge from Pearson. Now, minimum score to earn, 70% or above. But so students who earn a score, I misspelled score, of 70% or above will earn the bonus points. Oh, these are not bonus points. I'm sorry, that's an error. But this is a required assignment. But they will not earn a badge, okay? So since this is a specialized certificate or testing grader, your instructions, gosh, I apologize. I have some grammar errors here. Your instructor has very little ability to customize this assignment. Be careful, be methodical, be accurate. Now, be better than me on some of these typos here. I must have been in a hurry there. I apologize. Grader projects must be completed by the due date. Number of attempts. Before the due date, we just talked about this, you have unlimited attempts or submissions. You're expected to submit the work, review your errors, correct the errors, and submit the work again. Each time you submit your work, your score should improve. Use resources like your textbook and the simulations to accomplish the desired result of the assignment. By improving your skills, you'll improve your score. Now, important note, once you review the system report of your errors, you can correct the file, and I'm giving you a link, once again, to this video that will help you. I want to get to a certain point here. You must submit assignments by the due date shown on your class schedule. No late work, no makeups, no extensions. Grader projects require the Office 2016 software to be installed on your computer. You may find that you need the PC version to successfully complete the assignment. If so, college computers are available in the library, in the Academic Support Center, in an open classroom. Public libraries have Microsoft Word installed on their computers. Grader projects require you to enter the MyIT website, download your work files, separate the instruction file, separate from the instruction file to your computer, complete the steps in the instructions, and then submit the work. That's what I just showed you, okay? Each student receives a unique work file. If you are thinking about emailing this to your classmate, the system will catch you. If you think that one person can finish it, copy the contents, paste it into another student's file, the system will catch you. So please don't do that. In the grader projects, grader projects are different than simulations. In the simulations, you're learning, they're guided, but grader projects, you're not guided. You'll have instructions, but you're expected to perform the skills and exhibit the competence of those skills. You may have to return to the simulations, to your book, okay, because this is testing, right? All right. Okay, we'll talk about extra credit there. Oh, I took out one of the sentences I was looking for to share with you that I think I want to here it is right here. I skipped over this important note. Important note up here. In some cases, grader projects have inaccuracies that cause the automatic grade to score incorrectly. For the most part, this pass-fail method will compensate you for this, right? I'm giving you a 30-point window. You can make a 70 and get full points for this assignment, 70%, and make full points for this assignment. You can make a 75 and get all 30 points for this assignment. That's great. Okay, but what if you then email me and you say to your instructor, but if the system graded this correctly, then I would have 70%. Well, folks, the real problem is that you're scoring so low. You did not even hit that 30-point window. You're scoring so low that you have not earned a grade within that 30-point window that I provided. While I do appreciate, and I do, learning about the errors, shoot me an email and tell me, I also believe that a 30-point window for passing is your compensation for the errors. So here's what I'm telling you. Do not email me and say, Dr. McGrory, I made a 68, but that grader, I typed that in there correctly, and it took off half point, 2 points, 5 points, 3 points, and I would have had that 70. I would have had it. If that system hadn't marked me wrong, I would have had it. Well, if that's the grading system that you want to use, then we're not going to use the pass-fail. You don't get it both ways, okay? So that 30-point window, you hit anywhere within a 30-point window, I'm going to give you full credit for that assignment. So I am asking you that you make a 70% or above, that you repeatedly submit the work if you need to correct errors, that I'm giving you unlimited attempts, right, that you are using your book to do this. I think you have the resources. I think you're able to do this. So I don't want to be negative, but I do get that email despite my discussion of this. And I'm telling you right now, okay, that you got to put the time in, because this is in essence a test. So I wanted to review. That's the syllabus, right? And I wanted to review the grader project with you while I'm here. Using this syllabus, I really hope you're doing that, because here we are, MyITLab, Capstone, Grader, badge projects, and you can see. Why do I have there 0 points each? Gosh, my typos are terrible. I apologize. 30 points. These are 30 points each. 3 Capstone Grader projects for a total of 90 points, 30 points each. There is no drop grade, okay? The 3 just got deleted there. So anyway, 30 points each. We talked about, what all have we talked about? We talked about some of the tools that will help you. We talked about the discussion board assignment, which is only 5 points. Don't throw away 30 points to get 5 bonus points. It's not going to help you. So bonus point is only as an extra. And we did talk about the grader and the grader badge project in MyITLab, which is kind of new. I noticed that we're coming up on an hour for this video. When you think that a regular 3-credit hour class would meet for 3 hours, I think this is still pretty good time. If you're not watching the videos, I know you're struggling still, because the purpose of the videos is to guide you through this assignment as we would in a lecture. I gave you some cautionary tales there, and lots of resources that you found under that table of contents, right? Those external resources, the links. So I am glad to answer your question. The fastest way is going to be to email me and say, this is what I don't understand. You can certainly email me and say, I'm lost. Okay, that's fine. My question back to you is, point me to something specific. Well, I'm lost on simulators. Okay, tell me what you're doing, right? This is a conversation, so it kind of expect that. Email is always going to be the fastest way to communicate with me. I think you all have found that I do respond to email very quickly, but I hope these videos, that's going to be the fastest way. If you follow along, tune into those, I think you'll do okay. Thank you so much, folks. I appreciate your time, and keep working hard. You're doing really good, and I do appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.